transcendent knowledge. Thus have I heard once the Blessed One was dwelling in Rajagriha at Vulture Peak Mountain, together with a great gathering of the Sangha of monks and a great gathering of the Sangha of bodhisattvas. At that time, the Blessed One entered the samadhi that expresses the Dharma called profound illumination. At the same time, noble Avalokiteshvara, the Bodhisattva Mahasattva, while practicing the profound Prajnaparamita, saw in this way. He saw the five skandhas to be empty of nature. Then, through the power of the Buddha, Venerable Shariputra said to noble Avalokiteshvara, the Bodhisattva Mahasattva, how should a son or daughter of noble family train who wishes to practice the profound Prajnaparamita? Addressed in this way, noble Avalokiteshvara, the Bodhisattva Mahasattva, said to Venerable Shariputra, O Shariputra, a son or daughter of noble family who wishes to practice the profound Prajnaparamita should see in this way. Seeing the five skandhas to be empty of nature. Form is emptiness, emptiness also is form. Emptiness is no other than form is no other than emptiness. In the same way, feeling, perception, formation, and consciousness are emptiness. Thus, Shariputra, all dharmas are emptiness. There are no characteristics. There is no birth and no cessation. There is no impurity, no purity. There is no decrease and no increase. Therefore, Shariputra, in emptiness there is no form, no feeling, no perception, no formation, no consciousness, no eye, no ear, no nose, no tongue, no body, no mind, no appearance, no sound, no smell, no taste, no touch, no dharmas, no I, dhatu, up to no mind, dhatu, no dhatu of dharmas, no mind, consciousness, dhatu, no ignorance, end of ignorance, up to no old age and death, no end of old age and death, no suffering, no origin of suffering, no cessation of suffering, no path, no wisdom, no attainment, and no non-attainment. Therefore, Shariputra, since the bodhisattvas have no attainment, they abide by means of Prajnaparamita. Since there is no obscuration of mind, there is no fear, they transcend falsity and attain complete nirvana. All the Buddhas of the three times by means of Prajnaparamita fully awaken to unsurpassable, true, complete enlightenment. Therefore, the great mantra of Prajnaparamita, the mantra of great insight, the unsurpassed mantra, the unequaled mantra, the mantra that calms all suffering, should be known as truth, since there is no deception. The Prajnaparamita mantra is said in this way. Teata om gate gate parasangate bodhisoha. Thus, Shariputra, the Bodhisattva Mahasattva, should train in the profound Prajnaparamita. Then the Blessed One arose from that samadhi and praised noble Avalokiteshvara, the Bodhisattva Mahasattva, saying, Good, good, O son of noble family. Thus it is, O son of noble family. Thus it is. One should practice the profound Prajnaparamita just as you have taught, and all the Tathagatas will rejoice. When the Blessed One had said this, Venerable Shariputra and noble Avalokiteshvara, the Bodhisattva Mahasattva, that whole assembly in the world with its gods, humans, asuras, and Gandharvas rejoiced and praised the words of the Blessed One. Ngala jube ne jo tamba ne ngushe duchu ngai du do jan ju ba ba la ma yi bu shin zi ne song gondro zo la shat se lo. Agasmana deshan agasmana teata om gate gate parasangate buddhiso apaba konchi samchi gai den bedoji she doji metoji she doji jagi baji metun be shitanchi shedin goi so a gerin ton jaji ju she wa da metun the fundamental ground is scented with incense and strewn with flowers, adorned with Mount Meru, the four continents, the sun and the moon. I imagine this as a Buddha land and offer it. May all sentient beings enjoy this pure realm. Holy Lamas high, wrap the sky of your Dharma bodies in massive clouds of knowledge and love, and let them pour upon the earth of your disciples as we are ready a shower of rain, the teachings deep and wide. I send forth this jeweled mandala to you, precious Guru. Idam Guru Ratna Mandala Gamni Ratayami. Chandra. Yodan Dodi Janam La Yanjo Bado Dani Yazoji Nagi Jinye Bezanani Jalamen Yezanye Bajo. Yodan Dodi Janam La Yanjo Bado Dani Yazoji Nagi Jinye Bezanani Jala Benji Zanye Jubajo Yadan Zodi Janam La Yanjo Bado Dani Yazodi Nagi Junye Jibezonani Jala Benji Zanye Jubajo. So today, Rinpoche will be giving the transmission of the Heart Sutra. So what does that mean? It's not an oral commentary. It's a transmission of the actual words from a teacher to a student's ear. And that special blessing carries the lineage all the way back to the author if it's an authentic transmission. So it's said that if you have the transmission of a text, it gives you a special opportunity to have a blessing of insight into that text that will make it easier for you to understand in the future. And it will make it easier if you have a commentary to attach it to that root text of understanding, even if you've only had the blessing of the words in Tibetan or Sanskrit. So you'll hear in the beginning of the Heart Sutra, it says, and it first says in Sanskrit, it's called this. And then it says in Tibetan, it's called that. So the Sanskrit is put in the beginning of the Heart Sutra, even in the Tibetan, to pay homage to the language of all of the Buddhas. And then the text begins with a blessing that Buddha gives to Chenrezig, and a blessing that Buddha gives to Shariputra, and this dialogue begins. And it's considered an authentic pronouncement of Lord Buddha. And how is that done? It was done by blessing, the blessing that Buddha gave to Shariputra and Chenrezig to be able to ask the proper questions, for Buddha to be able to implicitly teach all of the 5 paths, all the way of the 5 Mahayana paths. So if you look at commentaries on the Heart Sutra, you'll see that implicitly it speaks of the 5 Mahayana paths, and simultaneously there's something special with the Heart Sutra because Buddha was teaching the Kala Chakra at the same time in Shambhala. So today Rinpoche will give us the transmission, and Rinpoche, the Chana Long Sune, the Jawa Rinpoche, the Khensur Pema Jetsen, the Shira Nimpo Long, Charanku. So Rinpoche says he's received this transmission from His Holiness the Dalai Lama. So we need to set our motivation, and we should be having the motivation that we hear this transmission so that we can then be of benefit to all sentient beings in some way, to become a Buddha for the sake of all sentient beings. So it's for that reason that we should be hearing this transmission.
Dema Shiraji Paruto Shibi Nibo Obujigo Dege Daga Tuba Tujina Joden de Jabigo Shago Pomila Galonga Nichambatan Shafu Shambiga Nicham Kaji de Jud Tate Joden de Samunawa Shesha Chuji Nadraj Tinga de la Nuba Shuzo Yati Shafu Sambaj Habashan Wanshu Shiraji Paruto Shimbal Samushabanya Nabatashin, Pugaba Tada Laya, Rashi, Tomba Namaya, Jusu Tawo, Zu Tomba, Tomani Zul, Tomani Yama, Tomani Zuzama, Teji to Suadan, to Shit and to Jit and to Jit, Nabashaba, not Tomba, Sharabu to that, Sharibo te Chitalabasha, the Kitchen, Mabat, Shantu Sama, Sabaj, Papa Shenes, Shantu Sama, Sabaj, Papa Shenes, Onshu, Sidan de Basharan, the Kitchen Meso, Sharibo, Rijamakala, Shiraji, Paradisima, Samushabash, the Button, Nabatawa Shate, Kumugabata, Raji, Toman. Nadaba Jusu, Tawu, Tumbani, Zule, Tumbani, Jemai, Tumbani, Zujamai, the Tuaz and the Jit and the Jit, Nabashiba, Notuma, Sharib, the Rachutan, Noba, Shari, the Jit, Nabarash, Natuma, Sharibu, the Third Chutaje, Tumbani, the Sanjaba, Majiba, Magab. Chamama Chamana Chamama Sharibo Tezaravid Toma Nila Zul Menswam the Jimin Nabashiba Memenam and Hamishim Lumizum Tremen Rumors Jim Shimin Mikam Ijikam Ejinovashi Kanjibat Namad Mariba Subam Gashim and Gashis Bibatam Tejin to do Hawata Kunjuatum Mubata Ishime Tuba Mama Tuba Yam Sharibut Samana Tuba Shara Jabaru de Shimala Tenjin Ned Sala Jabama the Java Shinju Shendu de Yangal de Betage Nabas Faji Shara Jabaru de Shima then the Lama Maya Taba Tuba Shanjut Mama Tuba Sanjis the Tayuna Shara Paru de Shimin Ha the Bachabe Lana Mabinga Manabata Yabanga Dunga Shara Shibinga Mazibin Debashibash Shiraji Baru de Shiminga Meba Theata Parasanga Mede Sua Sharif Shadusama Samajiba the Shiraji Baru Shima Samala Lavashaw the Judan the Tinga the Legend de Shadusama Samajim Pavashan Monjula Lesu Shishawashan Lesu Rijibu the Digit Chitachi Tabaji the Shiraji Baru Samula Shiba the Shabana Jesu Toden de Tekija Gajan, Sana Damasharana Tipa, Shantu Sama Samajo, Pavashan, Monjo the Taji the Demo Kuruta Dada, Hata Mata Lamai that the Rajibeji de Hera. Toden de Sumbalang over to Sumbalang over to Allah, so Sumbalang over to Sumbalang over to Shiraja Baru the Shimbi, Nibu, Shiraji Baru the Shimbi, Nibu, Susu, Jagaketu, Bangawat, Penjabaramata, Berkedo, Judan, Shiraji Baru, Shimbi, Nibu, Mabuchigo, Dega Daga to Batijana, Judan, Jabiga, Shakopamir, Lagunus, Gadishabat, Shaju, Sabi, Gadishabat, Saji the Judah, Judan is someone who should not think as a lot of Shaju Babashanas, on Shiraji, Paradis, Samushabani, Baratash, Kumanga, Laya, Jiji Tomana, Mayata, Zutomba, Tomani, Zulu, the next Haji, two Sudan, Sharibo, Shantu Sabajaba. Papa Shenese on Shula, the Gigi Meso, Rijibon, Kala, Shiraji Parus, Samushabashaban, Debate, Chetal Habasha, the Gigi Mabatan, Shadusama, Samajam, Papa Shen, Monshu, Sudan, the Bashara, the Tibalan, Monshu, Sudan, the Bashara, the Tibal, the Gigi Meso. Well, that's ending Mujashan.
So, for auspicious reasons, Rinpoche went back to the beginning of the text and read a portion of it again. So the transmission of the Heart Sutra is complete. And if you go online, you'll find many teachings that Rinpoche has given on the Heart Sutra. And you'll find all of the points that are made about the Madhyamika Prasangika school of emptiness and how that couples with the path. And that applies all the way up to the highest Yoga Tantra teachings, where you see the union of method and wisdom and the understanding of that is all relies on the Madhyamika Prasangika view and the Bodhisattva paths. So let's see if there are any questions that people have. So we're going to start to put together this list of texts that Rinpoche would like to give transmissions of. And then if there's, with COVID, you know, we can't all congregate. Rinpoche said that as long as you hear it over the video, you're receiving the transmission. And it's nice that we'll have archived all of these transmissions. I don't know where we find them in many other cases. So we're going to put together a list, and I asked Rinpoche if he would like to do it from the center, because the Kangjur and the Tanjur are there. And I think for auspicious reasons that the transmissions of these great texts should be done there. So he's agreed to do that. So we need to work out all of those details, of course. But we're looking at doing the 5 great texts. We're looking at doing the great Lama Rinpoche. I know we received the teaching, but Rinpoche is willing to give us the transmission of the Lama Rinpoche and of the essence of eloquence and of Nagarjuna's root wisdom text. So we're going to put this together in some kind of fashion that won't be too difficult for Rinpoche, because some of these texts are quite long. So they may need to be broken up. The 5 texts will probably be done in different sessions. So we're working out details on that. So I just wanted to let everybody know what's going on, what Rinpoche and I have been speaking of in terms of moving forward with teachings. And then on December 20th, there's going to be a group teaching between all of the Chenrezig centers. We'll talk more about that in the future, but it's been requested by Lobsang Samten and centers all over the US, and I believe outside of the US that he's affiliated with, will tune into a teaching on the 3 paths and the 3 principal paths by Lama Tsongkhapa, just an abbreviated commentary, and then a White Tara initiation. Yes, and Rinpoche has been on the phone with Tibet almost every single night, and Gen Chodrak is still doing very well. And he and Rinpoche actually walked from Kham to Lhasa with some donkeys to go to Drepung Losa Ling, and they've been friends ever since. So it's nice to hear them talk on the phone. They sound like little kids on the phone talking about old times. It's nice to hear. So questions? The Rinpoche tu chena de Jesu yerama tu ji Rinpoche gusi shapi denana kon shera gagadu. The Ming Yomare, the greatest gratitude, the Chiran de Kadrin Chempo, Chiran Kadrin Chempo re tu chena. The Ming Yomare su yena ngahakom. So Rinpoche wanted to know who you are. That it says greatest gratitude, Rinpoche. So it's anonymous. So thank you to whoever you are. So I don't see we have any more questions. I know today was a little bit short, but we're trying to, instead of starting a brand new text, because we were going through the list of texts. Rinpoche's taught so many. He's taught the 7-point mind training, the 8 verses for thought transformation, the wheel of sharp weapons, the mind training like the rays of the sun, the Heart Sutra, all of the Lam Rim Chemo. He's taught all of the small Lam Rims, the source of all my good, the 3 principal paths, and the abbreviated stages of the path, the Lam Rim Duden. So we're looking at all of these teachings, and we're seeing that, you know, we have a wealth of them. So we're trying to figure out what we can offer, what Rinpoche can offer now to us that we haven't gotten yet. And these transmissions are key for us as students if we want to move forward in our future lives and connect with Nagarjuna, and connect with Chandrakirti, and connect with Aryadeva, and connect with Dharmakirti, and connect with Maitreya, and connect with Gunaprabha, and connect with Vasubandhu, and connect with all of these scholars such as Joseph J. and Kirchup J. and Lama Tsongkhapa, so that we can have a reign of the pure Dharma that is only gold and not mixed with any dirt. Okay, Trila Mambo Yure. Tu chena chiran sonchina pe abudu. Chiran lapcha yure. The chiran lapcha yure be tanda de natsa chembo. then atsu the wrong hamba de du nyamdu yomare then kontrewa de me kashe de natsu gapodu yine natsu chembo cha then natsu nyamdu yanger then yanje the chan getru de seudu tanda de sam dan drabudu gamisine me nyamdu yomare yine natsu chembo nyepo yongore then it sam kagare then yamdu yanje leka yanje kali kapudu then it sam kana natsu the chipo kana lapcha yirbe
다 나사 남을 내게 쳐도요를 말해 쳐도요를 다 대예고 로망의 zon다 근데 헬라의 zon야 되는 버스
less so
근데 동반인을 고아요나 동반인을 상당고스
less so the natsa chembo tsar sana then me mambo nyamdu yanje then gom kali kapudu lapcha yirbe
나사 맨날 되는 양도 요는 아주 지시 어떻게는 지로
So Rinpoche said that the real antidote to this COVID-19 epidemic or pandemic is, if you can, meditation upon emptiness, understanding of the nature of reality, and couple that with the mind that aspires to enlightenment, bodhicitta. If you can unite those two, and then from that powerful union, engage in the meditation upon Tara and meditate on and express the mantra of Om Tare, Tu Re, Soha, meditate upon Medicine Buddha and express the mantra of Teata Om Bekenzi, Bekenzi, Maha Bekenzi, Bekenzi, Ranzu Samogati, Soha. And if you can unite that mantric recitation and deity yoga with the union of method and wisdom, of emptiness coupled with the mind that aspires to enlightenment, you will have the pure antidote to the pandemic of COVID-19 and every other affliction that has ever caused harm. Even the passing thought of suffering for a moment will be extinguished by that and that alone. So Rinpoche said, when we have to get back together, that means we can get back together and we can study and we can learn. And if we can use the community as an opportunity to better ourselves, then we won't see it as negative. Are the first one-day teachings of Introduction to the Middle Way still taking place? Yes, they are, and they are online. The last one is up. So yes, there are a couple that from our side, we have to send a file. And but yes, for the most part, all of the Wednesday teachings are up online. And they've all been captured. All of the stanzas have been captured if they aren't up online. More questions? Okay, hold on. Huh? Yeah, it's not the first Wednesday, is it? Thank you so much, Rinpoche, for continued blessings and your good health. Teresa. Terry. Okay, well, so we will end here, I believe. I don't see any more questions. I think that we got to all of them. And I just want to say thank you, everyone, for your support. Rinpoche now has the stair lift installed in the house. He loves it. It's so much easier for him to go in and out. We have a larger SUV now that he's able to go on chom-choms in. And the peritoneal dialysis is all going exceptionally well. The machine moves into the house at the end of the week. Training has been complete. Books have been memorized. Processes have been learned. So I just want to say thank you to everybody who's been able to be part of making all of these teachings happen. I thanked Lobsang Samten immensely yesterday for bringing Rinpoche into our lives, and Barbara for bringing Rinpoche into our lives. So I just want to remind everybody of the history of this center, and it took so much for Rinpoche to be sitting here and giving these teachings. And it's just like a flash of lightning in the dark, and here we are 20 years later. And I hope that I can do more than I've done with what I know. From Losang Dunye to all the panelists. Oh, we got a Losang something. Hold on. Why does only the reasoning of dependent origination give an understanding of conventional appearances, but not the other reasonings which establish emptiness? Why does only the reasoning of Rinpoche, the Lozon Dunye Triwa Ire, the Inji Drapa, then the Geshe Yomari, the Inji Drapa, then Kon Triwa, the Garshene, the Dendel La Dene, Dayanda, Dendel Dayanda, the Gonzo, the Shatudu, Datudu, Yine the Danda Jenda, Gonzo Demba, the Tona Kalikapudu, Garshene. Dendel Gona, Gonzo Demba Le Labo, the Tona. Yine the Dendel Yimbi Jutsen, the Tomba ni the Tomba ni Jutsen Kona Yomare, Jutsen Mambo Yure. Dendel Yimbi Jutsen Chi. Garshene Jutsen Jenda Gunzo Demba the Tona Kalikapudu.
Tended the town on the Yashudas, Rebi Jabo. Town of Jaburis, Tended Tenzit. Tangan taught the Jubashis. The Shitan Julivan Dina, Tangan taught the Jubashis. Tended the town of Tene, dog maybe in the talk of Juturis, but then the other Oman Jubalis.
So we find in Chandrakirti's entrance to the middle way, where it says that by relying upon this dependent origination, one will be able to understand the correct view. So it is said that the dependent origination is the king of reasoning to establish emptiness. So Rinpoche is just establishing why dependent origination is said to be the ultimate for establishing emptiness. Then the Dendel Yimbi Jutsen, the Tomba ni the Lelabo, the Dondan Demba, the Shetudu, Yene, the Dondan Demba, Dam Gunzun Demba Shetudu, the Demba Yimbi.
Tony Shezuna, the Kunzu Demba Shegaris, Tony Madonna Kunzu Demba Shetumaras.
So in dependence upon this understanding of emptiness, through dependent origination, you are able to see the understanding of the conventional reality, to see what is actually concealed in the conventional reality. So Rinpoche is saying, then the Dendel Yimbi Jutsen Mena Gunzu Demba the machine to Shitugumaribe.
Shedur the town the general then Shedur.
Yine the Garshine the Dendel Yimbi Jutsen the Dundan Demba dan Gunzun Dundan Demba dan Gunzun Demba ni yure. Then Dendel Yimbi Jutsen Nietzsche Pembudua. Then the Dendel Yimbi Jutsen the Danda Chi, the Tomba ni Danda Chi. Yine Danda Jenda Mombo Yure. The Dendel Yimbi Jutsen, my Yimbi Jutsen. Mombo Yure. The Doni Danda Mombo Yure. The Doni Dubi Danda Mombo Yure. Yine Dendel Yimbi Jutsen Gunzu Demba Le Labushi.
Dendel Yimbi Jutsen Tony Shere. Tell Dene and the Gunzu Demba Shere.
So, in dependence upon the reasoning of dependent origination, one is able to understand emptiness, and through understand emptiness, one understands conventional truth. So that's the process. So I'm trying to get to the pith of this question. Nene garshene the danda jenda the gunzu demba pemba yomare.
Jenda ga shetur. Dende danda den shela.
So you can understand the conventional through the other reasonings of that establish emptiness, but it's easier to understand emptiness. It's easier to understand the conventional through the reasoning of dependent origination that establishes emptiness. So let me start that over. So by utilizing dependent origination to establish emptiness, it makes it so that one then can establish conventional truth. But Rinpoche said that's not the only way to establish conventional truth. Conventional truth is established by many signs and reasonings. So it doesn't mean that you have to have this understanding of emptiness to understand conventional truth, but it's saying that by understanding this emptiness and dependent origination, one can then establish the conventional truth. Rinpoche says that you can establish conventional truth through other mechanisms that understand emptiness, but dependent origination is the easiest one to then establish conventional truth. Then the Doni dawa mena gunzu demba shitudu. Ale. Then the gunzu demba the dundan demba la dene. Nicha shingwa.
Gunzu demba Doni shesuna. Then gunzu demba shitudu.
Then Doni mashina gunzu demba shintuma. Okay, so I just want to make sure I'm translating this purely. So without understanding emptiness, you can't completely understand conventional. Conventional. So there's two truths, ultimate truth and conventional truth. And without the understanding of emptiness, of the Dundan Demba, Mashina, Gunzun Demba. So if you don't understand ultimate truth, you can't understand conventional truth. So it's required. So, okay, we're cleaning this translation up. Glenn Mullen was right. They're going to get cleaned up, and hopefully you guys will clean mine up later. These scholars will. But there are all the reasonings for emptiness can establish, Rinpoche is saying, conventional truth. But the easiest one to establish conventional truth is the king of reasoning, which is dependent origination. So dependent origination establishes that things are not truly established. So I believe that clarifies it. So Dundan Demba Mashina Gunzun Demba Mashivchat. Okay, so you can't understand conventional truth without understanding ultimate truth. The reasoning of dependent origination is the easiest way to establish conventional truth. Others are more subtle, but can establish conventional truth as well. Great, that was something I didn't know. But it makes sense, because if it's concealing a truth, then you have to know what's that concealing mechanism is. You're just grasping at, that's something to think about. So I don't think we did the prayers. So let's do the concluding mandala offering and dedication prayer. And then the rest of the prayers in the order in English. The fundamental ground is scented with incense and strewn with flowers, adorned with Mount Meru, the four continents, the sun and the moon. I imagine this as a Buddha land and offer it. May all sentient beings enjoy this pure land. I dedicate whatever virtues I have collected for the benefit of the teachings and of all sentient beings, and in particular for the essential teachings of Venerable Losang Drakpa to shine forever. I send forth this jeweled mandala to you, precious Guru. I dedicate all this virtue to emulate the knowledge of the hero Manjushri and likewise Samantabhadra as well. With whatever dedication is praised as supreme by all the conquerors who traverse the 3 times, I also dedicate all my roots of virtue for the sake of auspicious deeds. Please keep Tibet in your prayers. Chinese government is not wanting people to ordain right now. And they're not wanting the monasteries to really be attended and so forth. There's a whole movement to remove poverty right now. And that means a lot of things to us. So just keep Tibet in your prayers. And please make prayers to the king of teachings, Tenzin Gyatso, Chenrezig in person, the Dalai Lama. Pray for his abiding in our universe, for him to abide. In that pure land, surrounded by snowy mountains, you are the source of all benefit and happiness, all powerful Avalokiteshvara, Tenzin Gyatso. May you stay until samsara's end. I pray for the long life of the precious Khensur Wandak, upholder of scriptural and realizational doctrines, spiritual friend who trained extensively in the 5 great philosophical texts with exceptional wisdom and perseverance. Chuji Rinpoche, Gusi Shabi Denona. Thank you for that question. I also rejoice in the merit that Venerable Losang Dönyu is creating. Thank you for doing what you do and staying ordained.